In the quiet corners of Cambridge University's research laboratory, Dr. William Peterson stood motionless, his weathered hands gripping the edge of a metal workstation. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting a pale glow on stacks of research papers and complex genetic charts. Outside, a gentle English rain tapped against the windows, a rhythmic soundtrack to his deepening frustration. William had dedicated 15 years of his life to this research, a groundbreaking project, exploring genetic treatments for rare inherited disorders. His team, a small but passionate group of scientists, had sacrificed countless nights and personal moments to unravel the mysteries hidden within human DNA. Elizabeth Thompson, his primary research assistant, noticed William's troubled expression. She approached slowly, her steaming coffee cup in hand. "Something's wrong," she said softly, more a statement than a question. William's eyes, typically sharp and focused, now looked distant and worried. "Our primary research database," he mumbled. "It's gone." At first, Elizabeth thought she had misheard. Gone? How could an entire research database simply disappear? Months of meticulous work, thousands of genetic sequences, patient records and breakthrough analysis, all vanished without a trace. Michael Roberts, the team's technical expert, began investigating immediately. His fingers danced across computer, keyboards, tracing digital footprints and examining server logs. The more he searched, the more puzzling the situation became. "This isn't a typical data loss," Michael reported after hours of investigation. "Someone or something has deliberately extracted our research, but the extraction method is unusual." The research wasn't just about scientific curiosity. Each file represented hope for families battling devastating genetic conditions. Children, waiting for potential treatments. Parents holding on to slim chances of medical miracles. Every lost data point meant another family's dream might slip away. William remembered young Tommy, a 7-year-old patient whose rare genetic disorder had inspired their entire research project. Tommy's parents had invested everything, their savings, their hope, their entire emotional landscape, into this potential breakthrough. "We can't give up," William said firmly, looking at his team. His voice carried a mixture of determination and quiet desperation. Elizabeth nodded, her eyes reflecting a mix of professional commitment and personal passion. Michael continued his digital investigation, searching for any trace of their stolen research. Unknown to them, light years away, an alien civilization called the Zoranak had intercepted their research transmission. Their advanced scanning systems perceived the data as nothing more than an unclaimed technological resource. Complex algorithms processed the information, categorizing it as mere digital information, completely missing the human emotion, years of dedication and hope embedded within those files. For the Zoranak, data was data. Clinical, objective, emotionless. They couldn't comprehend that behind each genetic sequence was a human story. Behind each research file was a potential life saved, a family's prayer answered, a medical breakthrough that could change generations. William walked to the large windows, watching raindrops trace intricate paths down the glass. He thought about the countless hours spent in this laboratory, the sacrifices made, the personal relationships strained by their relentless pursuit of scientific understanding. "We'll find a way," he whispered, more to himself than to his team. Elizabeth placed a supportive hand on his shoulder. Michael continued typing, his determination matching William's resolve. The laboratory, usually a place of quiet scientific exploration, now hummed with a different energy. An energy of potential loss, of challenge, of unwavering human spirit. Little did they know that this moment marked the beginning of an extraordinary journey. A journey that would bridge not just scientific gaps, but potentially connect two entirely different civilizations. The stolen research was more than just data. It was hope. It was humanity's persistent fight against the unknown. It was a testament to human resilience, to the unbreakable spirit that refuses to surrender, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges. As thunder rumbled softly in the distance, William Peterson and his team prepared themselves. They would recover their research. They would continue their mission. And nothing, not technical failures, not mysterious data extractions, not even unknown alien interventions, would stop them from their ultimate goal, helping humanity. The first chapter of an unexpected adventure had just begun. Elizabeth Thompson sat quietly in the university's research wing, her fingers tracing the edges of a worn patient file. The fluorescent lights cast long shadows across her weary face, reflecting the weight of their recent discovery. Outside, the Cambridge morning was grey and heavy, matching the mood inside the laboratory. Michael Roberts entered, carrying 2 steaming cups of tea, a small comfort in their moment of crisis. "The full impact is worse than we thought," Elizabeth said, her voice barely above a whisper. The stolen research wasn't just a collection of numbers and genetic sequences. Each file represented real human lives, families waiting, hoping, praying for a medical breakthrough that could change everything. Michael spread out several photographs on the table, images of children battling rare genetic disorders, a young boy named Tommy, whose smile masked years of medical struggles, a teenage girl named Claire, who had been waiting for a potential treatment that could give her a chance at a normal life. "These aren't just patients," Michael explained, his professional demeanor cracking slightly. "These are people. Each file we lost represents a story, a family's hope." They discovered that their research was close to a breakthrough for 3 rare genetic conditions that affected less than 100 people worldwide, but meant everything to those families. The stolen data represented years of hope, millions in research funding, and countless hours of dedicated scientific work. Elizabeth remembered meeting Tommy's parents last summer. The way they looked at her, part hope, part desperation. They had travelled from a small town in Wales, bringing medical records, family history, hoping that this research might give their son a chance at a normal life. "We can't lose this," she muttered, more to herself than to Michael. The university's administration was already putting pressure on the research team. Funding was tight, and losing such critical data could mean the end of their project. Grants would be withdrawn. Years of work would vanish, but something burned inside Elizabeth and Michael, a determination that went beyond professional pride. This was about human lives. They began meticulously reconstructing what they could. Michael used advanced recovery techniques, searching through backup systems, email archives, and collaborative research networks. Elizabeth contacted every researcher who had collaborated on the project, hoping to piece together the lost information. Their team worked around the clock. Coffee machines were constantly brewing. Takeout food littered the research tables. Personal lives were put on hold. Dr. William Peterson, their lead researcher, brought in additional resources. He called in favors from medical research networks across Europe. Old colleagues, former students, anyone who might have partial copies, or references to their work. The stolen research represented more than a scientific setback. It was a battle for hope. One evening as the sun set over Cambridge, Elizabeth discovered something unexpected. A series of backup files stored in an old university cloud system. It wasn't complete, but it was something. "We might have a chance," she told Michael, her eyes lighting up for the first time in weeks. Their investigation took an unexpected turn when Michael noticed unusual digital signatures in the data extraction process. Something about the way the information was taken didn't seem entirely human. "This isn't a typical data breach," Michael said, his technical mind racing. "The extraction method is different, almost like it was done by something completely unfamiliar with human data structures." Elizabeth looked at the photographs of patients again, Tommy's smile, Claire's hopeful eyes. Each image renewed their determination. They weren't just scientists anymore. They were guardians of hope, protectors of potential medical breakthroughs that could change lives. The research team knew their journey was far from over. They would reconstruct their work. They would find out who or what had stolen their critical research. And most importantly, they would not give up on the families waiting for a medical miracle. As night fell over Cambridge, the laboratory remained alive with the soft glow of computer screens and the quiet determination of researchers who understood that some fights are worth continuing, no matter the obstacles. Their story was just beginning. The communication system in the Cambridge laboratory crackled with an unusual energy. Michael Roberts adjusted his headset, his fingers hovering over complex communication panels. Something extraordinary was about to happen. Dr. William Peterson stood nearby, his hands slightly trembling. Years of scientific training had prepared him for many scenarios, but nothing could have prepared him for this moment. First contact with the civilization that had taken their research. Elizabeth Thompson prepared a presentation that would change everything. She understood that this wasn't just a technical communication, this was a moment of human storytelling, of revealing the heart behind their scientific work. The initial transmission was strange. Computational signals danced across computer screens, displaying patterns unlike any human communication system. The alien civilization, known as the Zornak, communicated through complex algorithmic sequences that seemed almost like mathematical poetry. Michael worked quickly, developing translation protocols. Each signal required careful decoding, each transmission a puzzle waiting to be understood. "They don't realize what they've done," William muttered, looking at the patient files surrounding their workstation. Each file represented a human life, a family's hope, a potential medical breakthrough. Elizabeth began constructing a visual presentation. She selected photographs that would communicate more than words ever could. Images of children battling genetic disorders, families holding on to hope, medical research that represented more than just scientific data. The first visual transmission shocked the alien researchers. They had perceived the stolen research as nothing more than an unclaimed information resource. Now they were confronted with the human context. Tommy's photograph became their most powerful communication tool. A 7-year-old boy with a rare genetic disorder, his smile representing hope, resilience, and human potential. The alien civilization's initial response was clinical, mathematical. They attempted to process the images through computational systems, designed to analyze data, not emotions, but something unexpected happened. A young alien researcher named Edward became fascinated. While his colleagues processed the information mathematically, he saw something different. He saw stories. He saw human potential. "These are not just data points," Edward communicated through their complex transmission system. "These are lives. These are stories." His perspective started changing the entire alien civilization's understanding. Michael continued working on communication protocols. Each transmission revealed more about the alien civilization, a society built on pure logical understanding, completely disconnected from emotional experience. Dr. Peterson realized they weren't just trying to recover stolen research. They were attempting to bridge an enormous cultural and perceptual gap. Elizabeth's presentation included medical research details, patient stories, and the potential impact of their genetic studies. She showed how each research file represented hope for families waiting for medical breakthroughs. The alien civilization began to shift. Their computational systems, designed for pure logical processing, started experiencing something unprecedented, a glimpse of human emotional complexity. Edward became their unexpected advocate. He started translating human experiences into a format his civilization could understand, not just converting words, but helping them comprehend the emotional value of information. Tommy's photograph became a symbol of this communication, a simple image of a child's smile, communicating more than thousands of computational signals. The research team worked around the clock, coffee machines constantly brewing, take-out food scattered across research tables, personal lives temporarily suspended. Slowly, the alien civilization started understanding. They weren't just receiving information. They were receiving a lesson in human resilience, hope, and the incredible power of emotional connection. Michael's communication systems continued decoding, translating, bridging. Each transmission brought new understanding, new possibilities. Dr. Peterson watched with a mixture of professional excitement and personal wonder. They were writing a new chapter of human communication, challenging everything known about interstellar understanding. As night fell over Cambridge, the laboratory remained alive. Computers hummed, Transmission signals danced across screens, and hope filled the air. A conversation had begun, not just between two research teams, but between two completely different ways of understanding the universe. And at the center of it all was a simple truth. Human stories have the power to transform understanding, one connection at a time. C. Alien researcher named Edward sat in a sterile observation room, his computational systems struggling to process the human emotional presentation he had just witnessed. Screens filled with images of human suffering, hope and resilience surrounded him, challenging everything he understood about data and information. Elizabeth's presentation had been unlike anything he had ever experienced. She wasn't just sharing statistics or medical information. She was telling stories, raw, powerful narratives that cut through logical barriers. One image particularly caught his attention, a photograph of Tommy, the young boy battling a rare genetic disorder. The child's smile seemed to radiate something beyond mere biological function. It represented hope, courage, and an inexplicable human spirit that no mathematical equation could fully capture. Back on the human research team, Dr. William Peterson continued his relentless pursuit of understanding what had happened to their stolen research. Each day brought new challenges, new possibilities of reconstruction. Michael Roberts worked tirelessly, tracking digital footprints and exploring communication channels with the unknown entities who had taken their data. His technical expertise was matched only by his determination to recover what was lost. Edward, meanwhile, began presenting the human narratives to his civilization's leadership. He translated not just words, but emotions. He explained how scientific data represented more than statistical information. It represented human potential, dreams, and collective hope. The Zornak leadership listened, their advanced computational systems struggling to process the concept of emotional value. For centuries, they had viewed information as purely objective, disconnected from human experience. These genetic research files, Edward explained, are not just information. They are promises. Promises to families waiting for medical breakthroughs. Promises of potential healing. He showed them Tommy's photograph. The young boy's smile became a powerful symbol of human resilience. The alien civilization began to experience something unprecedented, a gradual understanding of empathy. Their cold, logical approach was being challenged by these human stories of hope and determination. Elizabeth continued her passionate storytelling. She shared narratives of families affected by genetic disorders, explaining how each research file represented more than just medical data. These were stories of human struggle, love, and unwavering hope. Michael discovered something fascinating during his investigation. The way the research was extracted suggested an almost innocent misunderstanding. The alien civilization hadn't maliciously stolen the data. They simply didn't understand its human significance. Dr. Peterson saw this as an opportunity. Instead of confrontation, they could build understanding. Communication could bridge the gap between two fundamentally different ways of perceiving information. The research team began preparing a comprehensive presentation, not just scientific data, but a narrative that would help the alien civilization understand the human experience. Edward became their unexpected ally. A bridge between two civilizations, he worked tirelessly to translate human emotion into a format his own civilization could comprehend. Slowly, the Zornak leadership started to change. They began to see that intelligent communication wasn't just about processing information. It was about understanding the emotional context behind that information. Tommy's photograph became a symbol of this transformation. A simple image of a smiling child representing hope, resilience, and the incredible complexity of human experience. The alien civilization was learning something profound, that data is more than numbers. That information carries stories. That, behind every scientific sequence, there's a human heart beating with hope and possibility. As weeks passed, the initial misunderstanding began to transform into a potential collaboration. The Zornak were no longer just observers. They were becoming participants in a larger, more compassionate understanding of universal communication. Dr. Peterson watched these developments with a mixture of hope and caution. They were on the brink of something extraordinary, not just a scientific breakthrough, but a fundamental shift in understanding between two completely different civilizations. The research team's resilience, their unwavering commitment to their work, and their ability to see beyond immediate challenges had opened a door to something unprecedented. A new chapter of human-alien communication was emerging, built on empathy, understanding, and the simple, powerful human ability to tell stories that touch hearts across the universe. The Cambridge laboratory buzzed with an unexpected energy. Where tension once filled the air, now a sense of hope and possibility emerged. The alien civilization, now understanding the human context of their initial data extraction, committed to supporting the research team's critical medical project. Michael Roberts stood at the center of this extraordinary collaboration. His technical skills, combined with the advanced alien technological support, created a powerful research environment. Computers hummed with complex algorithms, processing genetic sequences at speeds never before imagined. Dr. William Peterson watched the transformation with a mixture of professional excitement and personal wonder. The stolen research, once lost, was now being reconstructed with unprecedented precision. Edward, the alien researcher who had become their unexpected ally, worked alongside Elizabeth Thompson. His computational systems complemented her deep understanding of human genetic research. Together, they represented a bridge between two completely different approaches to scientific discovery. Weeks turned into months. The research team's determination never wavered. They understood that behind every genetic sequence was a human story, families waiting, hoping, dreaming of a medical breakthrough. Tommy, the young boy whose photograph had initially touched the alien civilization's understanding, remained their inspiration. His medical records became a central focus of their collaborative research. The university administration, initially skeptical, now watched in amazement. What had started as a potential research disaster was transforming into a groundbreaking international and interstellar collaboration. "We're close," Elizabeth whispered one evening, her fingers tracing complex genetic maps. The potential treatment for the rare genetic disorder was taking shape, piece by intricate piece. Michael's advanced tracking systems worked alongside alien technology. They could now predict genetic variations with unprecedented accuracy. What would have taken human researchers decades could now be achieved in months. Dr. Peterson reflected on their journey. From the moment of devastating data loss to this incredible collaborative moment, they had transformed a potential disaster into an opportunity for unprecedented scientific advancement. The alien civilization's leadership had undergone a profound transformation. They now understood that scientific data wasn't just about numbers and sequences. It was about human lives, human potential, human hope. Edward explained to his civilization that humans were not just another species to be studied. They were complex, emotional beings with an incredible capacity for resilience and innovation. The research team's approach touched something fundamental in the alien understanding: their unwavering commitment, their ability to see beyond immediate challenges, their hope. These were universal languages that transcended technological differences. One breakthrough followed another. The genetic research not only promised treatment for rare disorders, but opened up entire new fields of medical understanding. Tommy's case became a beacon of hope for families worldwide. International medical conferences buzzed with excitement. Scientists from different countries came to understand the incredible collaboration that had emerged from what initially seemed like a devastating loss. Elizabeth often looked at the photographs that had started their journey. Tommy's smile now represented more than just a personal story. It symbolized human resilience, the power of hope, and the incredible potential of cross-species collaboration. Dr. Peterson knew they were writing a new chapter in scientific history, not just a medical breakthrough, but a testament to human determination and the ability to find understanding in the most unexpected places. Michael continued refining their research, his technical expertise now enhanced by alien technological support. Each day brought new possibilities, new hope. The stolen research had become something far more significant. It was no longer just about recovering lost data. It was about creating a new understanding of scientific collaboration, of communication, of hope. As the sun set over Cambridge, casting a warm golden light through the laboratory windows, the team knew they had achieved something extraordinary. They had turned a potential disaster into a powerful story of redemption, collaboration, and human potential. Their journey proved a simple, powerful truth. Hope survives when humanity connects through understanding, compassion, and shared purpose. The research continued. Each genetic sequence a promise, each discovery a step towards healing, each moment a celebration of human resilience.